morning everyone, and welcome to Rob's Theme Park Vlogs, where it is officially my first theme park visit of the 2024 season. I'm here at Chessington World of Adventures for the park's opening day, the official opening day of the season. Last week saw the pass holder preview day, and over the internet and various social sites we saw there's been quite a few updates here at the park since last year. Little improvements going on here and there, a couple of ride updates and a bit of re-theming going on. So going to be plenty of updates around the park today for you. Already I know there's a few changes I'm going to go and have a look into, and I'll be updating you on them as the day goes by. Great to get back to theme parks though. Great to be back here doing YouTube stuff, and it's going to be a great year for theme parks, I know. Lots coming up. So without further ado, let's go around Chessington and enjoy the opening day. Here we go. So the first update of the day for you is the mini stage area at the park. Now, this is like the little miniature stage where they do smaller shows and mainly meet and greets. Now this area's been looking a little bit sort of down a little bit over the last few seasons, but as you can see, the first thing that we can notice is there's a brand new stage that's been put in this area. A lot of theming going in at the moment for whatever show's going to be on there, and the area has had a sort of bit of a spruce up as well. Now this is scheduled to be closed until the 28th of March at the moment, so only a few days it's going to be closed for now, but we're going to see a lot of exciting new shows and meet and greets going on down this area. Looking very nice indeed. Now while we're on the subject of current closures and updates around the park, there are a couple of planned ride closures at the moment as stated on the website. Now obviously you can see these on the website, and do always check on the app and the website for ride availability, but as it currently stands at the moment, rides that are currently closed are Toon Blaster, which I'm a bit upset about. So Toon Blaster is currently going to be closed till April 1st at the moment as stated by the website. Scorpion Express still says closed for extended maintenance. Now Scorpion Express has been closed for quite a few years now, so we're not actually sure what the future of that ride is. It hasn't officially sort of like been removed from what I know, so you know it's still here, but obviously maintenance on that is taking a bit longer than what they were expecting. So yeah, that is one of the things that you know you have to keep an eye out for. But hopefully we'll see it return at some point, but we never know. Another update for you around the park, this is Adventure Point, which down by Shipwreck Coast has had a whole new floor put in by the looks of it. Much nicer, it's been spruced up nicely. They've got a nice new decal on the floor there by the boat, by the Trawler Trouble ride. Sea Storm has had a bit of an update and a bit of a repaint. Looking much more fresh down this area, much better. We're heading to the Wildwood, shall we, to start with? So we're going to kick off our day then with a ride on Vampire. Classic coaster this one. Looking forward to getting back on it. Now I totally forgot to introduce her. Rachel's with me.
Hello.
Just got off our ride on Vampire. Enjoy it?
Yeah.
Good to get back on that one.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what,
good.
running really smooth again though. Like they've obviously done some works on the trains over winter as they do every winter, but I feel like they've done a bit more because it felt really smooth, that ride. No jolting at all that time. And no, really good to get back on it again. One thing I will say as well that I've noticed that they've done over winter is they've actually cut a lot of the trees back around the area. So when you're in the queue line now, you can actually see the car around the queue line a lot more. I don't know if I like that or not though, because I think I used to like it when it was quite hidden in the woods and you couldn't quite see it. It kind of made that a bit more mysterious for first time riders. But I can sort of see why they have done it, so you can, from the queue line you can see it a bit better. It makes it a bit more stand out, I guess. But no, nice to see them doing some little improvements around the area, tidying it up a little bit as well, because obviously if it gets a little bit too overgrown it can become a bit of an eyesore, I guess. So I guess that's why they've done it. So while I'm sort of talking about Vampire a little bit, let's talk a little bit about the future of Vampire. Now, bearing in mind, Vampire has been operating here since 1990, so it's a very old ride now, and it has been, obviously it was modified in 2002 to have the new trains on it, but the track itself has never had any really work done to it, nor has, I think, the theming and stuff. Obviously they did a bit of a spruce up a few years ago where they sort of cleaned up the theming and tidied it, got the animatronic working again, but I would love to see them do some real work on this ride. Now obviously we've seen what Merlin has done recently with the new Nemesis at Alton Towers, where they've done a whole sort of re-theme update and obviously the new track and all that stuff. I would love to see them do that on Vampire, to be fair. I'd love to see them bring the old theming back how it used to be, get the chandeliers back in the station if you remember those, spruce up the theming, and even add some new elements into it, like, you know, do some stuff in the actual, like, the tunnel that you go through halfway through the ride, you know, all those little things. I mean, if they could do what they've done to Nemesis, to Vampire, I think it could really be a really immersive ride. Don't get me wrong, I still think the coaster is brilliant, but I just think with all the modern day stuff that you can do now, I think they could really make that a really immersive ride from a theming element as well. Now we're heading up the pathway out of Wildwoods. Going to go to the World of Jumanji, I think. You do Mandrill, Rachel?
No.
No? What do you mean no?
No.
What do you mean no? Can't not go on it. We'll get into the World of Jumanji. We'll take a ride on Mandrill, which I believe this season has actually had its virtual queue removed. I will confirm that in just a second for you, but I did sort of hear rumours about the virtual queue being taken off it. Towards the end of last season they were sort of trialling not using it, so if you were like a single rider and stuff like that, you didn't have to use the virtual queue. So be interesting to see whether or not they have actually removed it or not. So I'm taking a solo ride on Mandrill Mayhem. Rachel's not coming on it today. She does go on it, but obviously these kind of coasters are still quite new to her, so she might go on it a bit later on when she's warmed up a little bit, but at the moment she's giving it a miss for now, so I'm going to ride it solo. So just walking through the main entrance to the ride, they didn't actually have anyone scanning QR codes, so it looks like for the time being they have actually removed the virtual queuing system. Now this might only be a temporary thing because it's a quieter day. It might come back when the park gets busier for the summer season and stuff. However though, I don't think they should get rid of the virtual queuing altogether, because I think actually on the busier days it does work quite well, because it means that whilst you're virtually queuing for this ride you can go and enjoy other rides and attractions. So if it does come back in the summer, I won't moan too much, because actually it does help out with general park traffic as well. It means that you're not all queuing for one ride all day and missing out on other attractions. So I would love to see it come back later in the season maybe. I felt good to get back on Mandrill Mayhem here in the World of Jumanji. I really enjoyed the ride last year, and actually I started this season on the ride how I started it when it opened last year, straight on a back row ride for you there. So obviously on the ride you've got the seats all face the same direction apart from the back row which faces the opposite direction, so you actually start by going out the station in reverse. Makes for a bit of a unique ride experience. Really good ride again though. As I enjoyed it last year. Seems to be running smoother now. They've done some work over winter, because towards the end of the season last year it was getting a little bit rough, I'd say, but I think they've done some teething stuff, obviously sorted it out, and now it's running really smooth. So no, good ride on Mandrill there, nice to get back on it. We're heading round to the Land of the Dragons now. We're going to take a ride on Dragon's Fury. Now, let's see how this ride's riding this year, because last year it was getting really rough. And I actually remember saying in one of my vlogs last year that I'm hoping that we're going to see some work on it and in the future, because it's getting on a bit and it is getting rough. So let's see what they've done to it. And actually I've just seen, just speaking of it, it is closed at the moment. So that throws that plan out of action for the minute, but we will come back when it reopens. I've seen test cars going round, so I don't think it'll be too long a wait before it reopens. Anyway, what we'll do, we'll head round to the main stage area, where I've got some updates around there for you, and then we'll head down and see if Rattlesnake's open, shall we? Let's go and do that instead before we go on the other Mauer ride here, whilst this one's down. Now, during the closed season here at Chessington, they have been really busy down here in the main stage area, because as you can see, they've got a completely brand new built stage here. Now, the last few years down at Chessington, this stage has kind of been, I'd say, a temporary structure, really. It's been like a stage that you can get from a company, they come and build it, and it's like a temporary structure. But no, for this year, they've actually had a completely brand new stage built. As you can see, it's got all the theming around it for the current show that was in. Now, a week ago when I saw this on some posts from the pass holder day, this stage actually had just a black outline. So obviously the decor on this stage can be changed depending on what show is running on it. And that's probably not too hard to do, you know. So actually it's looking really, really fresh, really, really nice. And it's nice to see an actual permanent stage structure. It looks much better than having just a temporary structure. It looks more themed, much better, and fits in with the area. And this looks like it is a permanent stage, this one, so I think it's going to be here for a good few years. Now, the show on here at the moment is called Copia. I don't know if you can quite see that on the camera because of the brightness of the screen, but no, Copia is the show that's on here at the moment, and we'll come and see that a little bit later on for you, get some highlights of the show. But no, it looks really, really nice what they've done to the area to really, really spruce this up and make it look a lot more in line with the shows and stuff. And I'd love to see what they do over the season with actually updating the outline to the different shows. Obviously they can update it depending on whether or not it's Halloween or not, or summer. You know, they can change it around. It makes it much more adaptable, I'd say. Right, good news, there's people on Dragon's Fury now, so it looks like it has reopened. So we will head on and get a ride before it shuts again. As you guys can see, not a great start for Dragon's Fury this season. The ride has gone down again, and they're actually evacuating guests off the cars that are around the ride at the moment. So, not a great start for it, but never mind, we'll go and do something else. They have actually given us a little access pass for another ride, so that's quite good of them, to be fair, you know. In the past, they've always kind of been a little bit sort of, in the past, they've always kind of been a little bit sort of on and off about whether they give out those passes or not. They've normally kind of only done it if you've been in the queue for like longer than 20 minutes and the ride's been down. However, they were really quick to kind of do that this time. They were like, we're only in the queue for about 10-15 minutes, and they kind of gave them to us. 10 minutes and they gave them to us. So we're going to go do another attraction. I can see the stage is just lit up for Copia, so I think we'll take a seat and catch a little bit of that, shall we, to start with, and see how it looks.
Hello adventurers, and welcome to the main stage here at Chessington World of Adventures Resort. Copia is about to begin. Adventurers, please stay off the steps and stage at all times, and be aware that pyrotechnics, flashing lights, strobe lighting, smoke effects, and loud noises will be used throughout the show. Get ready to sing, dance, and clap along as we dive down deep into the world of Copia.
from the reaper. It gets so full. And sometimes I do wish I had a little bit of company. But then again, solitude does suit me. Relaxing alone really is quite crapulous. But there's just one thing that really seems to ruin my day.
Don't even think about it, Claudia.
If I have to spend one more day listening to you happy jolly fit singing that wretched song, it will make me sick. It would be so hysterical. Cold roof without a chorus to sing. I like the sound of that. And poor old Ray, not being the hero you so want to be.
Take one more move and I'll...
Your what? Swiping with your fingers or sing harmonies at me until I weep? I think not. You're no match for me! This really has been awesome. I've got bigger fish to fry. That's it. Run away, Ray, just like all your little fishy friends. I hope they feel my peace as I crawl my way to the top. They'll soon see casting me out was a big mistake. It's unanimous and fabulous, or should I say a crabulous, and yet how very sad I must be all alone. For the rest of Coral Reef are constantly out hidden and deep, and I can't sleep because they keep singing that wretched song. But now their song is in my claws, I'm gonna have to take a pause and finding all that singing will be all I hear. And maybe then to their surprise I'll finally stop and realize what they've been missing this whole time is me, my dear. Now I can find it. Now I can find my dear. But what I never is underneath my shell. There's a sentimental traveler looking for a home. But don't feel that for me without that precious melody. All the sudden living Coral Reef and have a song to sing. But 'cause my claws are sharp, it doesn't mean I have the heart to tell them the day they parted. And they'll think that crab is such a clever guy. They'll think they're probably better off apologizing for the way they treated me. Just move your body, listen to the music, sing oh hey oh. Just move those legs, go ahead get crazy. Anyone can do it, sing oh hey oh. Show the world you got that fire, fire. Feel the rhythm getting louder. Show them what you can do. To them you got the blues. I don't know about you, but I feel better when I'm saying, yeah, yeah. Better when I'm saying, yeah, yeah. We can do this together. I bet you feel better when you're singing, yeah, yeah. Okay, everyone, let's show Copia just how strong we are. Living life is fun and we just begun to get our share of this world's delight. How much we have for the future and our countryside. No, we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Yeah. I think in you and the things you do, you won't go wrong. Oh no, this is our family show. Yeah. We are the hey, yeah. I got all my sisters with me. We are the yeah, we are. Yeah, everybody sing. We are the oh, I got all my sisters with me. I got all my sisters with me. We are the everybody sing. We are fishing the sea.
So you just saw some highlights there from a very, very soggy Seatopia. I mean, I know it's undersea themed, but I didn't want to get wet myself. But no, generally a good show, not too bad. Nice, plenty of good songs in there, loads of dancing. The costumes are really, really good as well, so not too bad. But yeah, I think it's a good show. Apparently that's sort of staying as well for the season, so that's going to be on throughout the season, and it's going to run right through. I don't know if they're going to bring any extra shows in for Halloween and stuff. They probably will do. Obviously nothing's been announced yet, so until that's actually announced, obviously we don't know. But I enjoyed the show. I think it's very good. It's a good show, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good.
Bit soggy, but not too bad.
I think it's going to get wet myself, but hey ho, never mind.
Good show nonetheless. So we've come back down here to Adventure Point now, where they've got another stage set up over here for Adventure Point. I'll take it around for you. So the Adventure Point stage has been down here for quite a few seasons now. They've chopped and changed it per season, and they've got a new one here for Explorers, I think, which is going on at the moment. So yeah, you know, show here as well. There's been some enhancements as well to the Adventure Tree carousel. Got some meat-fog on it now, and looks like it's had a bit of a refresh, a bit of a repaint, and the effects are all starting to work again. Plenty of updates here, and very powerful meat-fog as well. It's covering the whole area. Crazy. So the castle portal has been all repainted as well here at Adventure Point in the Mexicana area. Lots of colours. Looks like Elmer the Patchwork Elephant's been here and done some work. To be fair, it does look much nicer though. They've just brought a little bit of colour to the area, you know. Much nicer to see them sprucing up the area a little bit. Right then, lunch consumed. El's here.
No, finally got parked.
Finally got parked. It took about an hour to get parked apparently.
Parked on the yellow box because it's full. They said, do you need to park on the yellow hatches?
So you've had to park a
So if I get a ticket, I'm billing it to Merlin.
Not your fault. So we're going to do a round 2 on Vampire. Currently advertised as a 10-minute wait. Not bad at all. It said 45 minutes only, but we literally queued 5 minutes, so the queues have been minimal
The
today.
weather's actually good, to be fair, even though it rains.
Yeah,
It's cloudy, it's not
cloudy.
hot, it's not cold.
It's alright.
Actually,
It's in the middle, yeah. Right, we'll do round 2 on Vampire then. Just completed the second ride on Vampire. Still running pretty smooth as always. Did go down a bit, so that made the queue a bit empty. Did a few bits of repairs on it, and it's running again. I say, Vampire is still running well, really, considering how old it is, you know. Hopefully there's big things coming for you. I hope they keep it running for many years to come, because it is a unique coaster. Anyway, we've come over to the other part of Wildwoods now. Time for a ride on Gruffalo. So just come off a ride on Gruffalo. Running okay this year again, you know, it's a nice themed ride and it works really well, but I still think that Bubbleworks was a much better ride when it was here. You know, I think we should never have got rid of it, really. Don't get me wrong, like, the Gruffalo works well, but I think, you know, they don't need to have these IP attractions. I think actually one thing we've sort of seen quite a lot now with the theme parks, and especially with Thorpe Park being one of them, and you'll see some more on my vlog, my Thorpe Park vlog that's coming up very soon, that they're doing away with these IP attractions now because they just simply don't really need them. The problem is, when you do an IP attraction, you're limited to what you can do. You know, you can't make changes to the ride, you can't update it, you can't put bits in there without them actually giving you permission to. And one of the great things about Bubbleworks was it was such a freedom ride. They could do what they want, they could update it, they could add things to it. And even though people weren't fans of the Imperial Leather version of it, it still was Bubbleworks and it still was quite a good ride. And you know, I hope we see them do something with this area. The whole Wildwoods area is a really, really good area, and I really hope that in the next few years they do some updates to it, bring it really back to life and really make it what it used to be, because it's lacking a little bit something at the moment. And that's not me being, you know, mean or anything like that, it's just me being honest. You know, I remember when I used to come here, when I used to go to this park when I first started coming here back in like 2002, 2003. I'm talking, you know, 20 years ago. This area was such a good area. Like I say, in Vampire Station you had the massive chandeliers. The station was really, really well lit. There's like UV lighting effects in there and all that kind of stuff. And over the years those kind of effects have gone, and the same with like Gruffalo. Don't get me wrong, it's a good ride, but it just looks a bit 2D and a bit flat in a lot of places, whereas when it was Bubbleworks it was just full of so much stuff. But hopefully, you know, with the changes in direction that the parks are having, especially as we've seen with some updates already, hopefully there are things to come. Watch this space, we shall see. Right then, third time's a charm. So far we've been over to this area twice and both times the ride's gone down, so fingers crossed. Here we go. Let's see, shall we? So we finally just come off a ride on Dragon's Fury after it's been breaking down multiple times today. It's been on and off all day really, and I know it's the first day of the season, so obviously it's going to have teething issues, but these have been issues that have been quite persistent throughout the last few seasons, to be fair. And as I said in my last sort of vlog that I did here last year, I don't know how long Dragon's Fury's really got left at the park now. It's one of those rides that's not the highest capacity ride and does go down quite a lot, so could we see it changing in a few years? Maybe. So at the moment, like I've been saying all day on this video, there's a lot of changes happening around all the parks at the moment, and you know, we could be seeing some big changes hopefully. I'd love to see it because, you know, we haven't really sort of had a sort of new smaller ride. Obviously we had Jumanji last year, was a new bigger ride, but it'd be nice to see some of those sort of other rides that are getting a bit old and a bit dated being replaced and seeing continuing work going on. I'm upset, one of my favourite rides is closed today, and is actually closed until 1st of April, I believe. However, though, it does look like they have been doing some work to the actual ride. The front has been cleaned up quite a bit. They've had some new sort of like paint work done to it, some new sort of hieroglyphics have been added to the area and to the front of the ride. So it is nice to see them actually doing some work to the ride, and obviously this has taken a little bit longer than they sort of anticipated. Obviously they don't like having rides down, but I said last year with Toon Blaster last year, it was running well, but it had some days where it was on and off, and it, again, you know, some of the stuff in there was getting a bit dated. So hopefully this sort of work we're seeing on the outside of the ride has continued into the ride as well, and that hopefully we've seen some more, like the scenes have a bit of work done, some bit of lighting's been fixed in here and there and been redone. But I'd say until I come back here, I'm going to come back here obviously at some point this year. I'm going to come back as soon as possible when this ride opens, because it is one of my favourite, and hopefully they have done some TLC to the inside of the ride. I mean, you got to remember a few years back they had some like audio work and stuff was done. They had a whole new soundtrack made and all new audio for each scenes, and at that time some of the lighting was redone, but hopefully see they've done a sort of bit more major work to it, because it is a good attraction really. It's one of those ones that's, you know, been here for quite a while, still a good ride, and even though it is still a shooting ride as such, you know, other parks are starting to get rid of their shooting rides, this one I think is probably one of the better ones that I've sort of come across the theme parks. Right, so while we're down this area, we'll take a drop on Croc Drop, advertised as a 15-minute wait, but the queue line, as you can see, is empty, so I think it's more like a 5-minute wait. They did take the one off that. Now, normally on a clear day you can actually see stealth from this ride sometimes if you look closely enough. Let's see if you can see Hyperia, shall we, from this ride now, because obviously that's dominating the skyline of Fulp, and on my Fulp Park video you'll definitely be seeing that, because I'm actually heading to Fulp tomorrow for opening day as well, so lots of opening day vlogs. Lots of opening day vlogs coming up for you. They're excited. Is it for the Croc Drop? Whoa! Very excited to go on it. And actually, yes, they are right. The spinning has come back to the ride. Last season, it was doing less spinning than it was actually spinning, because the function was out of action quite a lot. So, hopefully they've fixed that sort of permanently now. But anyway, time for a ride on Croc Drop. We'll see you when we come off. So a good ride there on Croc Drop, and it's nice to see it spinning again. I say last season the spinning was sort of, depending on what day you came, depending on whether you got a spinning ride or not. It spent a lot of time on and off last season, but no, good to get back on Croc Drop again. I couldn't spot Hyperia today, but it is a bit of a sort of cloudier day, so it is hard to spot things on the horizon, especially with the ride being that sort of colour as well, so it is hard to spot it. I'm sure you probably can see it though if you look closely enough. Anyway, we're going to head over to Jumanji to do round 2 of Mandrill. Update on Dragon's Fury, it is still down at the moment as well, and they are currently evacing them from the lift hill, so it's had a bit of a shaky start to the season, isn't it indeed? But let's see, shall we? Anyway, we'll see you when we get over to Jumanji. Another good ride there on Mandrill Mayhem, and another update from Dragon's Fury. The cars are still stuck around the ride, so I'm not sure we're going to see that reopen today now, to be fair, because we're quite late into the day now. I mean, it's about sort of 3:30 here now, and the park is open till 5, but at the moment you've currently got a train stuck on the mid-course brake run. There's a train stuck on the lift hill and a train stuck on the brake run as well. The mid-course one is the hardest one to remove because I have to push that train forward. So I think it's going to be down for quite a bit of time, to be fair. We might see it reopen before the day's out, you know, it depends how fast they fix the problem. But sort of based on its operational history today, it's not been great. So I think we might not see it reopen today. But you never know. Let's see what they do, shall we? Well, the lift hill is running again, the train's cleared, so looks like they might actually be opening it again. On and off day for Dragon's Fury today. So down here at the Scorpion Valley Mining & Co. Still nothing going on with Scorpion Express from what we can see. The train itself is actually still sitting on the far corner just over the back before the station. But I say, for the last few seasons we've not actually seen this ride run. And it's still all set up, so I don't know what they're doing with it, but a lot of people are saying it might be going permanently. I mean, it's a small space, so I don't know what you could really put in it, but let's see what happens, shall we? Right then, time for a ride on Rattlesnake. Well, apart from a very, very tight restraint, that wasn't too bad, that ride actually. Last year the brakes on that were very, very strong. They seem to have actually sort of toned them down a little bit now. They're not so forceful as they used to be. Running alright though as well, I say. Classic wild mouse, so throws you around a bit, but not too bad. Good ride on the Rattlesnake there, good to get back on it again. At least it's dry around part now, and the sun's actually starting to come out a little bit, so hopefully it's going to warm up a little bit. We've got a few hours left, we've got about an hour of park time left I think actually, so still time to get on a few more rides before the day's out. Been a good day actually, to be fair, on park. I mean, I say we've had, you know, a few attractions have been down. Tiger Rock's been down all day. Obviously we know that Toon Blast is not opening until a little bit later on. Dragon's Fury's been on and off all day, but it's been quite a sort of steady park day, I'd say. Not been too bad for the first one of the first day of the season. Been alright. We're going back down to Wild Woods. We're going to round up our day on Vampire. Might be even quiet down here because I haven't seen it go round, but it's been quite a nice steady day on park, to be fair. Well, it's come to the end of a great day here at Chessington World of Adventures. Been a good start to the season, a good opening day. Ride availability has been pretty good throughout the day. Obviously we've had a few closures here and there and a few rides that haven't yet reopened, but you know, you kind of sort of expect that a little bit sometimes. You know, sometimes winter maintenance takes a little bit longer. If they have any problems and stuff like that during it, you know, they have to try and rectify it. And of course, they don't want to open a ride if it's not going to be operating properly. So, like, you know, obviously today, the main TV use today seems to have been mainly with Dragon's Fury. That's the ride that's gone down the most today, but general ride availability has been really good, to be fair. You know, there's not been long queues either. So even if a ride has gone down, you haven't sort of had to feel like you've wasted your time as such. And the park's been open till 5 as well, so it's been a good opening hours as well. No, really, really good to get back to the theme parks. Loads of theme park vlogs coming up this year again as well. There's so many events coming up. I'm going to try and go to all of them. I've got opening day of Thorpe Park as well I'm going to. That's going to be coming up. So loads of content coming this year as well. You know, it's going to be a really good year for theme parks. And so much has been going on over the winter as well. I say Thorpe Park is going to be the one that's going to be crazy. We're going to almost like a new park really with that. I'm also going to be trying to get to Alton Towers as well. And also, you know, I've got European trips coming up. Loads of stuff going on this year, so the channel's going to be pretty busy indeed. But for now though, until the next vlog, hope you've enjoyed the day with me, and from Rob's Theme Park Vlogs, we'll see you next time.